Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Shri Shailabhijanambura Shashanam Shri Krishna Tatatmajam Shri Shailanve Devanatha Sudhya Prapta Gamanta Dvayam Padabje Narsimha Tate Guroho Nyastatma Raksha Bharam Vidvad Vrunda Chakora Chandiramaham Ramanujaryam Shraye Shri Ranga Sudha Madhu Samaswadayantam Shri Ranga Mahishi Padapankajatmajam Sulabhashrayam Sada Moda Siddham Adbhutam Bhajehem Gurum Tam Ranganatha Priyam Sukhasanastham Hridayabjapithe Chinmudraya Lankrita Pani Padmam Shubhopavitam Vimalordhvapundram Namami Rangam Gurumantarange Namami Yoga Samrajñim Vijayam Vijayapradam Srirangardhasanāsīnām Karunām Mamamātaram Guru Rupa Paranjyotihi Jyoti Rupa Guru Paraha Ajnana Mandiram Hyetate Guru Vijnana Mandiram Mukhaṁ Karoti Vācālam Pangum Langhaite Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yontah Pravishya Mama Vācamimāṁ Prasuptāṁ Sanjīvayat Akhila Shakti Dhara Sodhamna Anyam Sahasta Charana Shravana Tvagadine Pranān Namo Bhagavate Purushāya Tubhyam Jayatya Santrasa Dhvanta Vidvam Sanodayah Prabhavan Sitaya Devya Paramavyoma Bhaskaraha Sakrideva Prapannaya Tavasmiti Chayachate Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyah Dadamyedat Pratam Mama Manojavam Martatulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtham Vatatmajam Vanarayuta Mukyam Sriramadutam Shirasa Namami Vedavetye Pare Pumsi Jate Dasharathatmaje Veda Pracheta Sadasite Sakshat Ramayanatmana. With salutations to our Guru and the Guru of all Gurus. We'll commence our session today. So in the last session, we were concluding with the Simhika episode, isn't it? And specifically, how Hanuman, he shows his Mahimai by actually enlarging himself to the same dimensions as this Rakshasi, and how with great skillfulness he was able to kill her. At the same time, towards the end, he displayed his abilities as a great Jnani, as an Atmavan. He regained his composure. And towards the end, the moment he drops her dead, all the Devatas and Maharshis who were assembled there, they were very happy, and they started to look at Hanuman as somebody sent by Swayambhu, Brahma himself, to kill him, Simhika. Tam hatam vanarenashu patitam viksha simhikam bhuttanyakasha charini tamuchuhu plavagottamam. And bhima madhya kritam karma mahat sattvam tvaya hatam sadhayartam abhipretam arishtam plavatam vara. So they extolled Hanuman, saying that you have done a bhima karma again, an act that is not easily possible by ordinary people, and you may now go ahead and take care of your goal for this journey. That is where we ended the last session. We will continue now from shloka number 198 of the first sarga. Yasyatvetani chatvari vanarendra yatha tava smutir dhritir matir dakshyam sakarma sunasidati. So this is a kind of summary of all the 4 episodes And this is the main lesson for us, very important shloka. As a takeaway from the first sarga is this particular slokam. Enna solraringa? Yasya tu etani chatvari vanarendra yathatava. The manner in which you have demonstrated the 4 different feats. What are they? What was the very first feat? The very first feat is Hanuman takes the gigantic form and knows that he has to cross 100 miles, 100 yojanas, and he takes a leap. We saw the wonderful description of how he leaps into the sky along with the various trees, shrubs, and so on, isn't it? And he attains the height, starts to fly, float in the sky like Garuda himself. So that is the first feat that he demonstrated. The second one is the event with Mainaka Parvata, the very first form of obstruction that comes in our work are the comforts. And he shows that he has set his eyes forward and he has no time to rest and enjoy the food that is available on top of the Mainaka Parvatam. No matter the different types of approaches that both Sagara and Mainaka take to entice Hanuman to rest for at least a little while before he leaps ahead, leaps forward. The third feat, we all know, was arranged, stage managed by the rishis and Siddha Purushas. They wanted to see Hanuman's might. And they engaged Nagamata, who is Surasa. And she again is a Kamarupini. She tried to test Hanuman, saying, "You are now my food, now get into my mouth." And we all know what happened, that Hanuman, first of all, understood who she is, showed humility, requested her. He explained his the purpose of his visit to Lanka. In spite of that, she goads Hanuman to go ahead and fall into her mouth. And then using his intelligence, Hanuman grows in size first, but then suddenly he becomes a microscopic person. He enters her mouth and from there he addresses her, "Look, I am now inside," and immediately walks out of her mouth. So that's the third episode where he demonstrated his first 2 siddhis, at the same time his own deep intellect. And the last episode is where he encounters the Rakshasi known as Simhika. And here is where he really shows his dexterity of how to kill her. And he shows a big lesson to all of us. What is that lesson? It comes in the second padam of this slokam. Smritihi, dhritihi, matihi, dakshyam. Those are the 4 attributes that he demonstrates. Sa karmasu na sidati. One who demonstrates these 4 abilities, that person will never fail in his mission. What are those characteristics or attributes that we should demonstrate? One is smriti, then dhriti, then mati, and dakshyam. Smriti is the ability to look at what you have to keep remembering your goal. You should not forget your goal, isn't it? You should remember how you have promised your own people what you will accomplish. In this case, Hanuman had promised all the Vanara Sreshtas as well as Lord Rama himself that he is going to cross the ocean. And somehow figure out where Sita is and bring the news back. So that is something he keeps reminding himself throughout the journey. Leah. So that is the first ability of anyone who is set on a mission, that what is my goal? Don't keep moving the goalpost. Then comes Dhritihi. Dhritihi is determination. At the same time, he took a gigantic form. So that is dharana poshnayoho. That is the dhatu for Dhriti. He was able to take or manifest himself in any type of form, be it a huge form or a minuscule microscopic version of himself. So that is the other physical ability he had. Of course, Dhriti also is firmness in resolve. Both are implicated here. And then Matihi, he showed that he is a very smart person, both in the Surasa as well as in the Simhika's case, that he is not to be taken for granted. He can think quite smart, quite fast. And lastly, Dakshyam. Dakshyam is dexterity, dakshate. He knows exactly how to kill Simhika Rakshasi, right? He doesn't waste his time on fighting with her for a long period of time. He, as we all know, he took a huge form and he fell on her chest and then killed her. And at the same time, he knew how to drop her down dead. So in the null abilities, Yarkirko, sa karmasu na sidati. A person with all these four attributes definitely is meant to succeed in his or her mission. So this is the key takeaway. So let us remember this. Okay, this is a key lesson from this particular chapter. Satai sambhavitah pujyaihi pratipanna prayojanaha jagamakashamavishya pannagashanavat kapihi. So in this manner, Sataihi sambhavitaha. He is somebody who is honored by the Siddhas and Maharshis. Pujyaihi. So he was also worshipped by them. What did he do? He knew his goal. Pratipanna prayojanaha. What is ahead of me? Why am I here? Abdin Soli, he reminded himself. And Jagam Akashamavishya Pannagashanavat Kapihi. Jagama, he started to continue his journey in Akasha. And how did he continue his journey? In the form of Pannagashanaha. Pannagashana is somebody who swallows snakes. And that is none other than Garuda. So again, Hanuman showed his power that he can fly in the skies like Garuda. And he continued his journey forward. Prapta bhuishta parastu sarvata pratilokayenne yojananam shatasyante vanarajim dadarshasah. So he is now nearing Lanka. Okay. He has crossed over 100 yojanaha. Prapta bhuishta paraha. Having reached the other shore. Okay. Parahana shore. He has reached the other shore. Sarvataha pratilokayin. Ella pakum, nala pakum patar. Patite yojananam shatasyante. He has crossed 100 miles now. What did he see? Dadarsha saha vanarajim dadarsha. Vanaraji is the beautiful forest. A set of arrangements there, where there are colonies of trees, essentially a forest. That is the first sight he has upon landing on the other side. Dadarshacha patanneva vividhadruma bhushitam dvipam shakha mrigasreshto malayopavanani cha. So what did Hanuman see? There will now be a description of the wonderful place called Lanka. Okay, the way that Ravana had built Lanka. Adanode explanation la varaporadhu ipo. It was indeed a tourist spot before Hanuman ravaged it. Okay, but we'll see a description of how beautifully the place itself was built. What did he see? Dadarshacha Shakha Mrga Sreshtaha. This is again an attribute for Hanuman. He is the best among animals who live on branches. Shaka Mrga Sreshtaha is best among the monkeys. Vanara Sreshtaha is Hanuman. Patannena Vividha Druma Bhushitam. So while he is still in the air, on the air, whatever it is, he is still floating. Again, Malende Pakarar. Enatha Pakarar. Vividha Druma Bhushitam. There are so many different types of Drumamna trees. Beautiful trees. Dvipam is island. Malayopavanani. Nama Tamila Malayam solron illaya, Malayin solron illaya. And probably this is one of the rare words where Tamil and Sanskrit have some commonality. Malayopavanani cha. There are a lot of gardens which are bordering the mountains. So imagine there's an island that he's seeing. There are a lot of mountains and gardens are bordering the mountains. That is the first sight that Hanuman has there. Sagaram Sagaranupam Sagaranupajandruman Sagarasya cha patninam Mukhanyapi Vilokayanne Samahamegha Sankasham Samikshyatmanamatmavan Nirundhantamivakasham Chakaramatiman Matim. So the other sight that he has there, Atmavan, first of all, he is somebody who is self-controlled. Matiman, he is somebody who is really wise. What did he see there? He saw the Sagaram first. Then Sagara Anupam. Anupam abdinaka Sagarthikitta irukkakudiya marshy land abdinu artham. Okay. Then Sagara Anupajan. Sagaram, Sagara Anupam. Sagara Anupajam. Abdina anga parandirukkakudiya bushes, shrubs, trees, etc. Basically, you would have heard of mangroves. Perhaps he is referring to those mangroves here. The kind of bushes or trees or shrubs that grow in the marshy land. Sagaram, Sagaranupam, Sagaranupajan. Moonum pakraranga. Druman, trees. Adithade, Sagarasya Patninam Mukhanyapi. He also saw the mouths of the wives of Sagaram. What is this? Why is he describing the mouths? But here, Sagarasya Patni, they are nothing but the rivers. So the rivers that feed into the ocean. So mouths of the rivers, and that is exactly what he saw there. There are so many rivers. You call them distributaries or tributaries. I'm not good at geography. One of those two. That which reaches the ocean, probably they are distributaries. Yeah. So they join into the ocean or delta. So he's seeing the mukhas of the wives of Sagara. Vilokayenne. Then he also looks at himself. Tannudai Thirumeniyum paathukkiraru. Eppadi irukke? Mahamegha Sankasham Akasham Nirundhantamiva. His body is resembling a huge crowd. Mahamegam, cloud. Okay. Akasham Nirundhantamiva. It is a huge cloud that is obstructing the vision of the sky. That is how he is seeing his own Tirumeni, his own body, divine body. It is huge, isn't it? Atmanam Samikshya. He looked at Vardhana Tanna Pathindar. Pathitu, what did he do? Matim Chakara. He thought. In the sloka. So we are observing the fact that Hanuman has concluded his journey. Anybody who has crossed over 100 miles, isn't it? The first sense will be of that of accomplishment. Okay, and then bro beating, chest beating, back beating, ella. That nobody can be equal to me in power. Abdina or sense of ego. Ana, இவருக்கு வந்துட்டு ஆத்மவான் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாரு இல்லையா? Basically, he is who is somebody who is self-controlled. அதனால என்ன ஆகும்? மதிம் சக்கார. யாருக்கு ஆத்ம புத்தி இருக்கோ, they will not waste their time on egoistic things. They will immediately think of what am I supposed to do next. அதுதான் இந்த ஸ்லோகத்துடைய லெசன். மதிம் சக்கார. You should not vanity bags, vanity. You should not display vanity. Of course, there is a sense of accomplishment, but it is for us audience, not for Hanuman. He knows exactly what he needs to do from then on. So, enna yosikrar? Kaya vriddhim pravegam cha mama drishtva rakshasaha mai kautuhalam kuryuhu iti mene mahakapihi. He immediately knew that mama kaya vriddhim, kayamna shariram, kayena vacha, Allah solvom illaya, kayamna shariram, kaya vriddhim. By looking at the gigantic form of my body, pravegam cha, the speed with which I have just now landed here, rakshasaha, avallam paathalna enna nenipa, kautuhalam, mai kautuhalam kuryuhu. They will become very inquisitive in me. Yeah. So, it will raise the curiosity among the various Rakshasas who are residing in this island nation. Mahakapihi mene, he felt it in that manner. So that is where we should link it to Matiman, Matim Chakara. He immediately figured out that he will generate a lot of curiosity and inquisitiveness among the Rakshasas there. So he should do something about it, which means he cannot continue with that same form and that same speed. He has to do something about it. Tata shariram sankshipya tan mahidhara sannibham punah prakriti mapede vitamoha ivatmavan. Then what did he do immediately? Tataha mahidhara sannibham. Mahidharanna நம்ம ஏற்கனவே சொல்லியிருக்கோம். Mahidharan is the name for synonym for a mountain. Mahim dharati iti mahidharaha. So his body is resembling a mountain. Tat shariram sankshipya. He contracted his body immediately. இதுக்கு ஒரு அனாலஜி கொடுக்கணும். கவினா ஒரு அனாலஜி கொடுக்கணும் இல்லையா? What is the analogy? வீதமோகா ஆத்மவானிவ அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. அதாவது very important lesson here. ஆத்மவான் சொல்றேன் இல்லையா? When will we all become Atma? எல்லாருக்கும் ஆத்மா இருக்கு. We are already Atmavan. What is there in it? Isn't it? அப்படின்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. நம்ம what we are seeing, what we are hearing, what we are speaking, it is all in the world of the senses. இல்லையா? இந்த இந்திரிய க்ஷேத்திரத்தில் நம்மளோட வியாபாரம். We are all doing extreme business in the field of indriyas. When we go into the indriyatita kshetram, that is where you will start seeing divinity. And that is where you will get closer to seeing that fantastic state of Atma. அங்க போனாதான் ஆத்மவான்னு சொல்ல முடியும். There is a fact, that atoms consist of electrons, protons, and சொல்லிட்டு at the level of intellect, we can understand it. But if somebody shakes you and says, do you really know there are electrons and protons? What will you do? So one thing is, I know it is published in literature. You can go and ask somebody. The other thing is to start our journey towards the discovery. Appathan, you can yourself write a paper on atoms. And that is when you will start gathering all the instruments, the means, and the modes of getting into that field of, I would say, not study, but the field of experience. Unless that is done, we cannot get into the state of an Atmavan. But having gotten into that state of an Atmavan, that journey itself is, we all know it is a journey of yoga, Ashtanga yoga. But with the grace of Guru and the Lord, if at all we get into that state, there is no guarantee that you will continue in that state, right? Because we are all in the Prakriti. The Indriyas are so powerful, they will keep pulling you down again and again. That's the reason why two important things that we started off Srimad Ramayanam with. What are they? What is the very first slokam? Tapas swadhyaya niratam tapasvi vagvidam varam. So tapaha and swadhyaya. These two are extremely important. One thing is to understand the purity and serenity of our real nature. Second is to maintain it. So one is tapaha. Tapaha will ensure that we heat the body, we heat the senses, we provide the necessary soshanam of the indriyas. Soshanam is drying it up. Okay. So for those of you who do the Aradhanam in the Vaishnava tradition, Soshayami, Dahayami, Plavayami, அப்படின்னு மூணு சொல்லிட்டே இருப்போம். So Soshanam is something which dries the access to senses, the sense objects, etc. But at the same time, we also need Poshanam. If we continue to, dry ourselves and attain the Atma Sthiti, then the next state is moksha. You will attain it and probably leave the body also. But if you want to continue your journey in the body, and if that is the Lord's will, then you also need poshanam of the body. So what goes up comes down. When you come down from the Atma Sthiti, there are all chances of slippages happening. And that happens because of moham. And the mohangarada inga solla vita moha ivatmavan. Mohamna maya, the sense of attachment to everything that is worldly. So there is no guarantee that if you are an Atmavan once in your life, adve kashtam, bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Illa varudhu sahasranamathil dana varudhu. Bhagavad Gita varudhu. Right? After several janmas, we probably get closer to getting into the path of reaching the Atman. அப்படின்னு வருது இல்லையா? ஐயோ பெரிய, it's a big chapter there. அப்பேற்பட்ட கஷ்டமான நிலைக்கு போயிட்டு to maintain it is even more difficult. இல்லையா? அப்போ வீதமோக இவாத்மவான். What the Atmavan does is, unlike us, அங்க ஸ்மிருதிஹின்னு சொன்னார் இல்லையா? ஸ்மிருதிஹி, திருதிஹி, மதிஹி, தாக்ஷ்யம், 4 விதமான குணங்கள். அந்த ஸ்மிருதிங்கிறது எப்போ வரும்? இப்போ உங்க வீட்டுக்கு போயிட்டு வாங்க அப்படின்னாக்கா, போயிட்டு வரேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு, இஃப் யூ ஹேவ் அல்சைமர்ஸ் டிசீஸ், அவ்வளோதான். ஒரு மார்க்கெட்டுக்கு போனால் அங்கேருந்து இன்னொரு மார்க்கெட்டுக்கு போவோம், வீட்டுக்கு திரும்ப மாட்டோம். We would have forgotten our origin. To know where to reach, you should have a sense of your origin. You should have seen it at least once. That is when memory will kick in. If you have not seen it at all, what is the purpose of memory? And the memoryங்கிறது ரொம்ப முக்கியம். எதுக்காக சொன்னேன்? இப்போ எனக்கு மறந்து போச்சு. So the fact that in the moham, Atmavanங்கிறது, once you have reached that state, you will keep reminding yourself of that state. அப்பதான் இந்த ஸ்மிருதிங்கிறது ஒர்க் ஆகும். அப்போ என்ன ஆகும்? மோகம்ங்கிறது உங்க மேல, when moha it overpowers you, you will know that you are not somebody who is in prakriti, right? You are a shatajit. You have won over the mayai with the shatari, the tiruvadi of the Lord, and you have actually seen him in person. So the moment you remind yourself of your state, then adada che idu moha enna panna mudiyum, it cannot do anything to me, and you will shrug it away in a manner very similar to how a horse, if there are grains of sand on its back, you know what the horse does? You twitch பண்ணும். அது twitch பண்றச்சே அந்த sand grains விழுந்துரும். That is a definition that Periva great people take of avadhuta sannyasis. So avadhutalna yaar அப்படின்னாக்கா அவ மேல மண்ணு உண்டா மண்ணு ஒட்டாது. Just like the way the horse shrugs it away, they have the immaculate ability to win over moham because they are atmavan. So that is the beautiful analogy that, it's a big detour, that Valmiki has taken in this particular slokam. Punaha prakriti mapede. So it was so easy for Hanuman to shrink himself in size, and the ease of taking that form garthukku இந்த analogy கொடுக்கிறார். அப்படின்னா ஆத்மவானுக்கு தான் மோகத்திலிருந்து வெளியில வரத்துக்கு உண்டான ஒரு தகுதி இருக்கு. Only the Atmavan has the immaculate ability to win over moham at any point of time. So that is the philosopher's touchstone சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா? If somebody, how do I know this man is an Atmavan? அப்படின்னா அவளை கிள்ளி பார்த்தா தெரியுமா? அப்படின்னா இதுதான். This is what you should do. With the onslaught of moham, is that person able to reach his original pristine state quickly, easily? அப்படிங்கிறது is a definition of an Atmavan. Anyway, so that's that is exactly what Hanuman did. He shrunk his body back into the normal human beings or normal vanaras state. Tata shariram sankshipya tanmahidhara sannibham punah prakritima pedevi tamoha ivatmavan tadrupamati sankshipya Hanuman prakritau sthitaha trin kramanima vikramya balivirya haro harihi. So the first one was the aspect of analogy, Vitamoha Ivatmavan, that is science. Now they take an analogy from history. In history irkinga tad rupam ati sankshipya, romba kuttiya panitar. He shrunk himself to a form that is very small in size. Mahidhara sannibam, the body itself is as huge as a mountain, right? Prakritav sthitaha, he came back to prakriti, meaning the normal state of prakriti. Eppadi அப்படின்னா த்ரீன் கிரமானு விக்ரம்ய பலிவீரிய ஹரோ ஹரிஹி, in a manner that was adopted by none other than the Lord Trivikrama அப்படின்னு சொல்றார் இல்லையா? முதல்ல he came down as a Vamana, and then looking at the fact that he had to essentially take care of Bali Chakravarti. Bali Virya Haro Harihi. So in the Bali Chakravarti ki Viryam irundhathu. He had a sense of ego that I own this entire Bhumandalam. Illaya, I am the Maharaja, so I can give you anything in Danam. அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு ஈகோ இருந்தது. அந்த ஈகோவை ஹரிக்கிறதுக்காக வீரிய ஹரஹ ஹரிஹி. So he is both a Hara and a Hari, Rudra as well as Vishnu. என்ன பண்ணார் அவர்? த்ரீன் கிரமானு விக்ரம்யா. ஓம் பூஹு ஓம் புவஹ ஓம் சுவஹ பூர்புவஸ் சுவஹ. He took 3 strides. One, to ensure that he shows Bali Chakravarti, நீ வச்சிருக்கிறதெல்லாம் is just one part of my creation. Then he takes the second stride and shows his feet, holy feet, towards the heavens. And the last one, மூணாவது அடி கேட்டார் இல்லையா? மூணாவது அடி எங்கன்னா அவனோட ஈகோ போயிடுது. The fact, the very moment the Lord took the gigantic form, Bali Chakravarti's ego vanished, and he knew that he cannot do anything beyond surrendering to the Lord. என்னோட தலையில வைங்கோ அப்படின்னு சொல்றார். கதா புனசங்கர தாங்க கல்பக துவஜா ரவிந்தாஞ்சன வஜ்ரலாஞ்சனம் திரிவிக்ரமத்வச்சரணாம் புஜத்வயம் மதீயமூர்தானம் அலங்கரிஷ்யதி. என்ன ஸ்லோகம் தெரியுமா அது? Kulasekara Alvar, in his beautiful Mukunda Malai, he asks Mukunda, when is it that my Shiras is going to get decorated with your holy feet, which is enshrined with Shankha and Chakra? Bhagavan Tiruvadiki and the Shankha Chakra Murukkum, Uddavar Valla Anubhavichirka. They have all enjoyed it in ample measure. When is your holy feet going to adorn my Shiras? அப்படின்னு குலசேகர ஆழ்வார் கேட்கிறார். அங்கேயும் திருவிக்கிரமனுடைய பேர் வரும். த்ரீன் கிரமானு விக்ரம்ய பலிவீரிய ஹரோஹரிஹி, in a manner similar to Lord Hari himself. Hanuman took the form of a normal human being. So now from the next sloka onwards, we will see what other things he is going to describe there. Sacharunana vidharupadhari param samasadya samudratiram parairashakyam pratipanna rupaha samikshitatma samavekshitarthaha samavekshitarthaha அப்படின்னு ஒரு பாட்டா இருக்கு, அர்த்தஹான்னு ஒரு பாட்டா இருக்கு. ஸோ தெலுங்குல இது ரெண்டும் ஒன்னா போயிடும், அர்த்தம் அர்த்தம் அப்படின்ட்டு. ஸோ அர்த்தஹா அப்படின்னு ஒரு வாச்சம் இருக்கு. So let's see what this sloka is about. Charu nanavidha rupadhari. So just like Trivikrama, the Lord took the form that he willed. He is a Kamarupa. Yeah? And likewise, Hanuman is somebody who can take many different beautiful forms. Charuna nalla அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். Very good, very beautiful அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு சாரு. சாரு மதி, அவதான் படபடபடான்னு பேசுவா இல்லையா? Sorry if anybody is Charumati. So Charumati means one whose mati is really beautiful அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். Paraihi ashakyaha, that which is next impossible by others அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். Only somebody who is as divine and as Deva Purusha as Hanuman, as the Lord Shiva himself, can do these things. Saha Param Samudra Tiram Samasadya. So he has now landed அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். மேலேந்து இதெல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கார். Now he has landed onto the Samudra Tiram. Samikshitatma Pratipanna Rupaha. So Samikshitatmana நல்லா பார்க்கறார்னு அர்த்தம். He is observing what is happening there and what am I supposed to do now. What did he do? Pratipanna Rupaha Samavekshitarthaha. He assumed a Rupam that is required for that purpose. He came down in size to a normal human being. அப்படிங்கிறது இந்த ஸ்லோகத்தினுடைய தாத்பரியம். சமவேக்ஷிதார்த்தஹ சமவேக்ஷிதார்த்தஹ அப்படின்னு இருக்கு. Meaning he considered himself to be a normal human being அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். ததஸ்ஸலம்பஸ்ய கிரே சம்ருத்தே விசித்ரகூட்டே நிபபாதகூட்டே சகேதகோத்தாலக நாரிகேலே மகாத்ரிகூட்ட பிரதிமோ மகாத்மா. So now we'll start looking at the description of the island now. Okay, நிறைய பியூட்டிஃபுல் டிஸ்கிரிப்ஷன்லாம் இப்போ வரப்போகிறது. ததஹ மகாத்ரி கூட்ட பிரதிமஹா. So of course he is himself as tall as the mountain called Trikutam. Saha Mahatma is Hanuman. Lambasya Girehe. அங்க ஒரு லம்பா அப்படின்னு ஒரு மவுண்டன் இருக்கு. ஓகே, தட் இஸ் த நேம் ஆஃப் த மவுண்டன். இப்போ போய் அங்கே குறைஞ்சி பார்த்தா தெரியாது, அங்கே கோல் போஸ்ட் இருக்கான்னு தெரியாது. Let us go ahead with the description. Lamba அப்படிங்கிற மவுண்டன், தட் இஸ் வாட் ஹி லேண்டட் ஆன். விசித்திர கூட்டே, இட்ஸ் எ வண்டர்ஃபுல், விசித்திரமா இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு மவுண்டன். சம்ருத்தே, இட் இஸ் வெரி வெரி ரிச் அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். வாட் இஸ் இட் ரிச் இன்? சகேத கோத்தாலக நாரிகேலே. So there are different types of trees. Now he will show that he is the guru of botany. Okay. So Ketaka, Uddalaka, Panasa and coconut trees. இதெல்லாம் இருக்கு. இதெல்லாம் என்னன்னு கேட்காதீங்க. கேட்டா A level botany எடுத்துருவேன். அது யாருக்கான வேணும்னு எடுக்கிறேன். சரியா? பிரதிமோ Nipapata Kute. He descended and landed on this Lamba mountain that had all these different types of trees. Tatastu samprapya samudratiram samikshya lankam girirajamurdhni kapistu tasmin nipapata parvate vidhuya rupam vyathayan mrugadvijan. So tatastu tataha kapihi samudratiram samprapya. எல்லாருக்கும் மீனிங் புரிய ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கும். இப்பவே நான் தேவையே இல்லை. சமுத்திர தீரம் சம்பிராப்பிய கிரிவரிய மூர்த்னி. கிரிவரிய மூர்த்னி. கிரிவரியஹ, a big mountain peak அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். மூர்த்னினா சிகா, இது தலை. So he reached the top of the Lamba mountain. அங்க போயிட்டு again he is having a bird's eye view of Lanka from there. Okay. Lankam samikshya rupam vidhuya mrugadvijane vyathayanne. So he shrunk his form, isn't it? And he again shakes his body. Okay, you remember when he started to take off, even then he shakes his body. That was the first act he does. And then it causes commotion to the bhutas in the என்ன பர்வதம் மறந்து போச்சு, மகேந்திரகிரி இல்லையா? Now he has landed on the Lambagiri and he is doing the same act. இப்படி ஷேக் பண்றார் பாடியை. He is not a sheikh though, he is a Hindu. என்ன பண்றார்? மிருகத்விஜான வியதையன்னு. He scared the various animals. Mrigadvijam. What is the meaning of Dvijam? We have already seen it. Dvijana, twice born. So it is first born inside the egg, then the egg cracks and the real bird comes out. That is why it is called twice born or Dvija. So he scared them. Vyathayan. Tasmin parvate nipapata. He landed on the Lamba mountain. Sasagaram danava pannagayitam balena vikramya mahormimalinam nipatya tirecha mahodadhestada dadarsha lankam amaravati miva. Saha என்ன பண்ணார் அவர்? தானவ பன்னகாயுதம். So the description of the mountain and the inhabitants of the mountain. யாரெல்லாம் இருக்கா? தானவர்கள் அப்படின்னாக்கா ராட்சசர்கள்னு அர்த்தம். பன்னகாயுதம், பன்னகனா serpents, different types of snakes. மகோர்மிமாலம் சாகரம் பலேன விக்ரம்ய. So again description of Hanuman that he has recently crossed over the oceans. Urmi, Maha Urmi Malam, ocean which is full of different types of tides and waves. Urmina adartham. Sagaram balena vikramya, using his enormous power, he crossed the ocean. Mahodadehe tire nipatya, he landed on the shores of the Sagaram. Tada Amaravati miva Lankam dadarsha. So a description of Lanka. So the Upamanam for Lanka is Amaravati. So the great divine city of Amaravati. And the Madhirindam. That is the beauty with which Lanka itself was decorated with. Not for no reason. It's a Rakshasa Ravana. We'll see that he took the help of Vishwakarma himself to craft his dvipam. So that's the description of landing of Hanuman. So he has landed in Sri Lanka, no visa on arrival. He knows who he is. We have seen how beautifully he used Smriti, Dhriti, Matihi, Dakshyam as the key takeaways from the first Sargam, the 4 great events. And may those events keep reminding us of the ideals of the life and the fact that Hanuman is Atmavan. He is as Parakramashali as Trivikrama himself. and the fact that he is determined to achieve the goal that he has set forth himself on. So Sundara Kandam, as we all know, whenever we are in trouble, this is the text, go-to text, so to say. Yeah. And the very first lesson for us to cross over troubles is embedded in this slokam: Smritihi, Dhritihi, Matihi, Dakshyam. Those are the 4 things should keep reminding us of. There is no mention of troubles there. Yeah. When somebody gives you a solution to a problem, there is no reference to the problem there. It only refers to the tools that are required to craft a solution for the problem. ரொம்ப காம்ப்ளெக்ஸா ஒரு ப்ராப்ளமை சால்வ் பண்றதுக்கு என்னெல்லாம் நம்மளுக்கு இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்ஸ் வேணும் அப்படிங்கறத சொல்லக்கூடிய ஸ்லோகம், சொல்லக்கூடிய சர்க்கம். வெரி ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சர்க்கா itself, it gives us a lot of confidence that let's not worry about the problems. Let us stay focused on the goal and acquire the tools that are required. Let us become as skillful as Hanuman by his grace to cross over the ocean of problems that lie ahead of us on a Sunday morning. We all have our own problems, but amongst those problems, may Hanuman keep pushing us towards our goals. So with this, we'll conclude our session today.
Guru Charana Nirbhara Bhakta Guru Charana Nirbhara Bhakta Samsara Chiradbhava Mukta Guru Charanamuja. Krishna Krishna Manasa Devam Rakshasi Nija Hridayasam Devam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate.
Kayena vacha manasa indriyairva buddhya atmana va prakrite swabhavate karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai Shriman Narayanaayeti samarpayami. Sarvam Shri Ramachandra Arpanamastu. Have a great day and a week ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaskaram.
Namaskara.
Thank you, Raghavan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raghav ji.